Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Brothers Thrice. We were gone for a bit, but now we are back. We are three brothers who grew up in a close, tight-knit family, but we still have a lot of differences, and we're not the same people, I swear. I'm here with my brothers.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
Hello, I'm Brian.
And I'm Will. So today we are back. We've been off for a little bit. Life got in the way. We were all a little busy, you know. You guys were busy working. I was busy working. We just didn't have time to do it. And we said, you know what? Let's wait till times are a little slower. That summertime slow down for you guys for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna do
Hiatus.
a whole bunch of episodes, and well, when you guys are hearing this, it's not the summer anymore, but we're recording this during the summer, so then we have a whole bunch of them to release later in the fall.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brothers Thrice doesn't pay the bills, so we have to work in order to.
If it did, that'd be amazing. But
no. And then that being said, if you're a fan and you want to send us money,
we just get a check from mom.
Our PO box mom. Is 1234.
1234. Send me money. But we're back, and we're gonna start off with a classic Brothers Thrice bracket. Those classic bracket boys.
The bracket boys.
Hey, the bracket boys are back, baby. And we're going to do action movies. We don't do a lot of action movies. We do a lot of other genres, but this is the action part. So we've done our draft, and we drafted our top three each of action movies, and we're gonna debate them.
And there has been some debate on the debate of what is an action movie, because we've done
considered an action movie, yeah.
Because we've done Marvel movies and everything, and it's like, well, is a Marvel movie an action movie? Technically, yes. But we didn't want to throw that in there because that we could just, and then it would just end up being a Marvel movie debate again. So we're not putting in any sort of like superhero movie or anything like that, because they are action movies, but they're their own genre in and of themselves.
Like they have action in them, but I think I would call them more just comic book movies, superhero movies, like their own thing. So let's get into it. We have a lot of good picks in here. Some favoring more one than one actor than others, but they're action people. That's how they do it.
Actiony.
All right, so we have 9 and 8 seed. 9, I think, is me, right? Yes. Mm-hmm. And 8 was Kevin?
Yes.
All right. So my number 9 is Baby Driver. And yours is, what is it, Kev?
Kingsman.
The first Kingsman, correct?
First Kingsman, correct.
All right. Although the second one's fun, but the first one's more classic, I think. Like more unique. Well,
go ahead. You have the floor.
Oh, well, I'll talk about Baby Driver first, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
So directed by Edgar Wright. He's the one who did Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh, my goodness.
Edgar Wright. He's a really great. I really enjoy his movies. He's always done things that are very fun and unique, and doesn't just show like this is what's happening. Now this is what's happening. He does more very interesting, fun ways of showing things, and like fast-paced directing. And then also with Baby Driver, it's a very the soundtrack is next level. Mm-hmm, they have he directs and sequences the action based on the song. So like it'll go to the beat of a song. It'll the driving scenes are like next level. Like they're really like top-notch stunt driving and things. It's really, really cool. It's a love story. Kevin Spacey's in it, but don't pay attention to that. Besides Kevin Spacey,
Johnny Hamm's in it. You just
Johnny Hamm is in it. He's great in this movie. He's like the main bad guy. Love it.
Also Elgort, yeah.
Also Elgort. He's also kind of on the fence of canceled because he's done some stuff with some ladies that he shouldn't have.
I didn't know that. God damn it. Ansel Elgort.
Well, it's not like official, but like
is that is that the guy who's in West Side Story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like his face. I don't know why.
That's funny that you say that. It's funny that you said that because Mom always says that that he looks like Jake. So shout out Jake. Kev doesn't like.
He doesn't look like Jake.
He does not look like Jake.
I don't know.
Jake's much more handsome.
Jake looks like Christian Hackenberg. Jake looks like Christian Hackenberg.
Oh,
he was the quarterback for Penn State who was on the Jets for like a year or two, but he was terrible.
Oh, well, sorry, I don't know who that is. You look like Michael Cera, Kev.
What?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
All right, back to my movie. Saying random stuff about Kev that doesn't even make sense at all.
Jamie Foxx is in that movie.
Jamie Foxx is in it. He's a bit of a cuckoo man.
And Lily James, that's my lady. I love Lily James.
You like Lily James? She's the love interest for Baby Driver.
Deborah. It's Deborah. Deborah's in this movie. It's Deborah.
Just
the terrible Ray Romano.
Oh, sorry. I went camping the other day, and there was this guy talking on the phone in the campsite next to us. It sounded like a deeper voiced Ray Romano, and it was driving me nuts.
And that's just Robert.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Like the nasally tone and everything.
It's funny. All right. Well, Baby Driver.
Anyway, Baby Driver.
Baby Driver is a great movie. Next Level. I keep saying Next Level a lot. Really great soundtrack. I've added some songs to my playlist after watching that movie that I didn't really know about. So it's just a great. Check out the soundtrack. It's got some bangers.
Doesn't he have he has like an inner ear problem and he has to listen to music?
He has tinnitus. So it's
is that tendinitis?
Tendinitis in his ear.
No, tendinitis. It's tinnitus.
Tendinitis.
No,
he's got tennis. He's got tennis ear.
No. He got in this car accident when he was a kid, and then he has it's just always a ringing in his ear. So he has a headphones in to listen to. And he has a lot of different iPods, and he makes music. It's just a cool movie. Yeah.
And it's ironic because his papa, and it's not his dad or whatever. It's like some deaf dude. So.
Oh, it's not his parent. It's like his adopted father figure, I guess.
Yeah, his papa.
Yeah. Papa. Oh, papa. So yeah, that's Baby Driver. Really, really great, fun movie, and the action's great. Like all the.
Well, I'd hope so. In an action movie podcast.
Yeah, it's a love story, but also it has amazing action scenes. Okay.
Very actiony in car.
Skirting.
All right, Kev. Kingsman.
All right, Kingsman. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember watching. Well, it has been a while. I've never seen it.
I haven't seen it, but it's like.
But I've heard good things. No, first time watching it, it's a very much like takes spy action, like a James Bond type, and just kind of makes it like there's a lot of fun action in it. It's more like light and fun, kind of like they just do like it's almost like comic booky to an extent.
It's very stylized for sure.
Yeah, it's cool. And it was, I like spy movies, so it was definitely a good, entertaining movie. Right, but it's not as serious as like a Mission Impossible or a James Bond. Looking at the numbers, if we're going to go head to head here, Baby Driver grossed about $226 million in the box office, and the Kingsman grossed worldwide $414 million, nearly doubling.
Was that Baby Driver also worldwide gross?
Yes, it was.
Okay, just make sure you weren't throwing
money
a domestic.
Isn't everything, Kev.
I know, just like the outpouring of fan, viewership is more.
Well, they could have just had a better. They could have just had a better marketing budget than.
Also fair. But I just thought
what's the Rotten Tomato score off?
I don't know. I have to look.
Or
is that on IMDb? It is, right?
No, it's on Rotten Tomatoes.
They don't have this. They don't have the score next to it. Has their own rating.
IMDb wouldn't. You should see the IMDb rating. It's the same thing.
Kingsman has a 7.7 out of 10, and Baby Driver has a 7.6.
Oh, I was about to say, are you about to just lose your own battle here?
No. Boom.
Well, I think both of them are very fun. I like both of the movies, so it's gonna be a toss up for me.
I know everyone talks in a nice, jolly, good accent.
And in Kingsman, he gets a dog, so
and he has to almost shoot it.
He has to, but he doesn't because he's like, nah.
Yeah, which is normal.
Yeah, but like, because dogs are cool.
And you're not talking about the best part, like one of the crazy, the church scene, the oneer, all the so-called oneer action scene where he's going through and just going ham on people.
Going ham on people. Well, I don't want to give everything away.
No, I'm just saying that's a highlight. That's a highlight of the movie. I think that's like one of the best scenes because it's just so fast and energetic, and they hide the cuts really well of people like jumping across screen or something, or so it makes it look like it's all like just one, like the camera just moving through the scene really coolly, really cool,
coolly. Nice, you're making up new
words.
Didn't
they make like a prequel to that movie recently?
The King's Man, yeah.
Yes, and they also have a sequel. I haven't seen the sequel or the prequel.
Oh, the sequel's fun. It's kind of like the same stuff, just like there's a different villain, there's a different worldwide problem.
And Pedro Pascal's in it.
Yes, he's but he plays like a Western. Like they have in this one they have like the American version of the Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I want to watch it.
The Statesman, I think they're called. Like they're like the American version, like Channing Tatum.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Well, they're Channing Tatum is one of them, and like Jeff Bridges is like the lead guy of the Statesman. It's like it's fun, like
I like all they bring it like spy gadget type things and stuff too. Like they have like they're like umbrella. They also have the like their headquarters is in like a tailor shop, which is cool.
It's very like very poshy British fancy boy.
Yeah,
like they have that in the nice. Like, how can you fight in a suit like that? I'm sorry, you can't.
But yeah,
you'd be very restricted.
It's made specially for that.
Right, it's made for combat.
They are in a tailor after all. Isn't the main guy Voldemort?
In the prequel one that just came out, Ray Fiennes is
yes. The main guy in this one is Colin Firth. No, Colin Firth is like the head guy.
Oh yeah, but then the main character is Edgerton.
Yeah,
which he's great. I love Taron Egerton.
Yeah, and he's also rumors right now. I saw he's rumored to play the next Wolverine.
Really?
Yeah,
I like that. I don't mind that.
Who, Colin Firth?
Yes, Colin Firth.
I still want a short, hairy man to play Wolverine to be more comic accurate.
Danny DeVito.
DeVito.
Taron Egerton's not very big.
But he's not like in the comics. Wolverine's very like
he's like 5'5"
and like just a thick boy,
like a Danny DeVito type.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wouldn't be upset with that casting.
Right, no, I love Taron. He's great.
And also,
Rocket Man.
Michael Caine is in this movie for a little bit.
Yeah, he's
Michael Caine.
You have to be. I mean, any sort of British movie has to have Michael Caine.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Michael Caine. All right, we're talking about these too much. We'll be here all night. So, Baby Driver, Kingsman. For me,
my vote stays.
I assumed because I don't think you did see Baby Driver.
No, I did not.
All right, well there you go.
I had no interest in seeing it.
It's good. You should watch. It's fun. This is a toss-up because I do enjoy both movies a lot. But I think I'm going to give it to Baby Driver just because I think the action's really great, but also I think it adds because he's doing something more with the soundtrack. Like he edits to the music, and it's just really something you don't see a lot. So I really enjoy that movie.
My vote is going with Baby Driver for the same reason. The music is awesome, and the way that it fits together around the music is very, very cool.
I picked one with music, and I think I had Brian in my pocket there.
Yeah, that's
that was not my intention, but that worked out.
Yeah.
All right, so that moves on, and we'll see that pick back later. Moving down the list, we have number 5, which is this you, Kevin?
Number 5.
Taken, yes.
Taken, and then my number 4 is The Matrix.
Me versus you again?
Yeah, and you can start this time if you want with Taken.
Okay.
Because I have lots of thoughts on Matrix. It's the best.
Liam
I feel
Neeson's...
like this is an unfair like setup here with the movies, because like as a pure action movie, I feel like Taken is one of the greatest pure action movies there are, where it's like guy, protagonist, fighting his way, being a badass throughout the whole thing. And also Taken has given us one of the most quotable lines like ever with the phone call. I have a particular set of skills. Like, I mean, it's just Liam Neeson at his best in this movie. I mean, I'd like to think that nothing else takes place after it, like the sequel, and then they make like another one where he's on a train or something.
Well, those are all different movies. That's just Liam Neeson doing the same kind of movie over and over, but they're not part of the Taken.
Right, but
there was Taken 2,
and then there was there Taken 3 as well.
I think so. There's more that it's like, and then like one when he gets taken, it's a whole thing. But this first one is so good, just the way it's like this different scenes where you're like trying to figure out where she is. It's kind of like also a mystery thing, and he like, goes through this whole underground human trafficking thing.
It's very freak. I remember Sword's Real for the first time. I was like, this is dark. Like this, this stuff actually happens. Human trafficking is a thing, and it's really
It's like, well, we can't go to France. And it's like, obviously, this is what
I'll
happens.
never send my daughter abroad ever. No, because I know this will, and I'm not Liam Neeson. I don't have a particular set of skills. Not those skills. I have other skills, but I have
not those skills.
I will Photoshop you to death.
Want me to Photoshop a poster for you, or I can edit a video for you real fast, Mr. Terrorist Man, human trafficker.
Oh, then okay. Here's your daughter.
You're right. So it's gonna. I know it's probably not gonna move forward going against like one of the most classic movies there is with Matrix, but Taken is, I think, like when I think action movie, it's pure
action because it's just like man has a problem, he solves it with his fists.
Yeah, and just like it's. We'll compare it. It's like The Matrix is an action movie, but I feel like it's more sci-fi.
It's really like it has some of it's the subject around The Matrix is very sci-fi. That's why I was between the two lists, because we're also gonna do a sci-fi movies one, and that this movie might end up on that one too, because I just love both. It's a great sci-fi movie, but then when they're in The Matrix, the action is like
that's
level.
It's
combo.
Yeah. So if we're going pure action,
are the Matrix fight scenes a little bit too much?
It literally was like the first movie like that. Like no other movie was doing those kind of action scenes, and now you see in the early 2000s there was like hundreds of movies that tried to do the Matrix thing.
Yeah,
like it was like a pacemaker for like a lot of action movies. Obviously things are a little not as wiry and like slow-mo and things, but they still do a lot of stuff that started in those movies.
I mean, when did the Matrix come out? Was that 2000?
2003? No, I think just 2000,
something like that.
I think 90, no, 2000. I think early 2000s for sure.
1999 actually.
Oh, there you go. So 99, yeah.
But I just think like if we're comparing the two as an action movie, I think Taken is more of an action movie. Matrix is an actiony sci-fi movie.
Yeah, but the action. Can I talk about the Matrix now?
Yes,
I'm gonna bust. All right, so
Ew. Bust.
Please, not on camera.
Oh, Keanu. No, The Matrix for me is one of my top movies because it's just so awesome. You have the sci-fi, obviously, of we're all living in a simulation. The Matrix is like where we are right now is the Matrix, and we're actually sitting in a goo pod powering the batteries for our robot overlords. And then you get unplugged from the Matrix to then be in the real world, but you're able to then still go into the Matrix to do, and then you could kind of do whatever. Well, with Keanu, he's the quote unquote one, pretty much Jesus in the movie.
Jesus.
And he could create and they got a little more into it in the second movie where he's doing he's flying around and all this kind of stuff.
He can control.
We're talking about just the first one. The action scenes, like the bullet time, slow-mo back, that was like copied for like 10 years after this movie came out.
Every movie had that.
Every single movie had the slow-mo bullet time, dodging bullets, and some of the action scenes where they like the scene in the lobby where they're coming through and they literally have all the guns and they're just like running on the wall, going blowing stuff up, like pieces of the wall just flying off. Everything's in slow-mo. Everything looks amazing. And for a movie that came out in 99, like some of the effects still look pretty fun. Like I know there's a lot of floaty wire stuff, but that's kind of like that Hong Kong movies that they used to do, like where like hidden, like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where everything would be like you do things that are not possible, obviously. So it's like floaty jumps. You could pretty much fly up to a second floor if you wanted to, and no problem, like all that kind of stuff. It's very suspension of disbelief. It's a lot of fun. But I just think the Matrix, for what it is in like the pop culture, whatever, is like, unprecedented.
Yeah, no,
is the scene
I
with
agree
the
with
bullets, is that in the first one or the second one when he goes
First
like
one.
this?
Oh, that's the end of the first one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
there's another one in the he does it again in the second one, but the first one is like at the end when he pretty much dies, and then Trinity kisses him in real life, and then he gets back up and can control the Matrix, and sees everybody in the green code, the green Matrix code.
Binary, and then the Red Skull is there.
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving, he's Agent Smith. He's a great villain. I love that. He's really good in that movies.
That guy's got a great villain face.
Yeah, but he also
Anderson.
plays like a good person in Lord of the Rings, and it throws me off because he's supposed to be bad.
He still has the bad face though in Lord of the Rings, the elf face.
Yeah. But like, I think that The Matrix is one of the cult classic movies. Like, if you say like, what are a classic movie that defined a generation, The Matrix is on it, 100%. But it's more sci-fi than it is action, because
I think it's honestly like a 50-50 split when they're in the Matrix.
I don't know
the whole
idea of the movie is based on a philosophical theory that we can't disprove.
Well, argue the merits of the film, not if it fits the genre type.
Well, we're arguing the top 3 or the top action movies. So I would say it fits in a sci-fi.
We determine all these are action movies.
But it's action sci-fi.
I'd say it's action. It's sci-fi action, not action sci-fi. It's action adjacent.
Well,
yes,
but it's still action. I because like the editing in Taken, I think, is a little choppy because it needs to cut around Liam Neeson's old ass doing action scenes, so it's not as cool. Like we'll see later on. If you watch John Wick, you're seeing they're on a wide for seeing those those scenes.
No, I'm with you on that. And like, when you watch Taken after you see John Wick, you're like, whoa, that's choppy.
But it's very choppy.
So I would say, like, if we were going to put, like, obviously, like, I chose John Wick as one of mine, and we're going to get down to that. That's a better action movie than The Matrix, even though The Matrix is a better like movie as a generational like movie. Because of the fact that it's just an action movie. It's not a whole sci-fi world. Like, is Star Wars an action movie? Technically, there's action going on within it, but we don't have it on here because it's a sci-fi movie. Same thing with The Matrix.
Yeah, Liam Neeson's 6'4". Goddamn,
he's a big dude.
Yeah, but I would say the action in The Matrix is nothing even close to the action in Star Wars.
I mean, have you seen Episode 3? Come on.
Liam Neeson.
Oh no!
Oh, not episode 1. I mean, episode 1. Sorry. Yes.
I was gonna say what? Qui-Gon is dead, bro. Oh, spoiler. Sorry. Shit.
For a really
that
old
movie came out like 25 years ago. I'm so sorry.
But I'm gonna keep my vote as Taken, even though The Matrix is a better movie. It's less of an action movie.
He said it.
No, I'm not arguing that Taken's a better movie than The Matrix. It's not.
You say it's a better action movie.
Better action movie.
I disagree.
I'm on the fence here.
I disagree. I think The Matrix has the best action of any movie that's come out. Like, it's top tier. Like, if you think of all the action scenes when they're fighting in the subway, when they're fighting in the lobby, when he's dodging bullets, when they're doing all that hand to hand, him and Morpheus in the dojo when he's training, like all that stuff is like top tier. It's top tier. I don't know. So Matrix for me all the way. It's one of my favorite movies. I love it so much.
I'm on the fence a little bit because Taken is super like actiony in terms of, like we said, guy solves problem with fist and gun. And he is pretty badass. But Matrix has those quintessential fight scenes, like Bruce Lee kind of shit, kind of fights that's like very much actiony and everything. And I think
one more thing quick. If like for Matrix, I just listed all those like specific fight scenes and action scenes. I really can't think of what's like on the boat is the only at the end is the only thing I could think of that's an action. The rest is just like going through a house and punching people. It's not like it's not as much set pieces.
You have on the boat where he's like the guy goes to talk to him. Okay, what about when he's getting hung up and like by like the pipe, smacks the pipe down and takes out 4 guys by himself? He's got like he sneaks his way into that party as like a janitor. What else does he do?
Well, that's not an action scene. That's just a sneaky scene.
Yeah, but then he like goes and beats up all the people in the party.
Whatever. That's just one of my last thoughts. Brian, go ahead.
I think because of the massive following that it has and the cool fight scenes, I'm gonna go with The Matrix. Oh, because it just has plenty of iconic scenes and like the kung fu-y kind of fights are very, very much action-y in my eyes. So I'm going with Keanu
all day. We'll be seeing Keanu more very soon.
That's true.
He is an action icon. All right.
The next one up is The Replacements.
Love that movie.
All right. So next up, Matrix moves on. Next up is this is just my top 3 in order, pretty much. Not in order, but one of my top ones is Speed, also Keanu. And then this is Brian
and Sandy Bullock
and Sandy.
This is you, number 6.
Yeah, the Fugitive with Harrison. I didn't kill my wife, Ford. I bet he did kill his wife.
You switched the samples.
Professor.
It's still one of my favorite John Mulaney bits. Like, he'll just goes into the entire plot of it. It's so funny. Oh my god.
Yeah. That movie is great.
John Mulaney's film, or what? What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I'm talking about The Fugitive.
I know. Go ahead.
That's special is also quite funny. Shout out John Mulaney if you're listening. Yeah, thanks. The Fugitive is very much ingrained in my psyche because, as you guys know, it was on cable television at least twice a day, every day.
Much.
I felt like it, and when. This is before streaming things were very, very, very popular.
Back in my day,
we had to flip through the channels to find something to watch.
We couldn't start from the beginning.
Exactly. And Mom would always flip through the channels, and evidently you'd find The Fugitive
on USA.
Yeah, or something like that. And every single time it would remain on the TV, which most people would say that gives it a demerit because it is overplayed for me, but I disagree. At first I was like, Jesus, this movie again, but then you learn to watch it and appreciate it. It's very, very good. Yes, Harrison Ford, Dr. Richard Kimball is accused of murdering his wife, but in reality it was the one-armed man. And yeah, like it's very, is it the hospital people send somebody to kill him? Is that true, right?
Yeah, it was his friend. It was his friend that switched the samples. Because they knew that Richard would come out and say like this medicine doesn't actually work. They switched the samples. Like, he was too good of a guy to let it happen.
He was too moral to like let them pretty much fudge numbers to get the drug out or something. But so then I actually remember that because I'm like, oh yeah, that's the reason why it happens. Then his wife gets in the way, I guess.
Right.
And then he gets
like
away.
the guy, Wonder Man was sent to kill Harrison Ford, but he wasn't home, so he had to kill his wife because then he would have been found out. And then
he's not here. I guess I gotta kill his wife.
Well, he there's a guy in my house. You're gonna call the cops. And then it could all have been like blown up. So kill the wife, and then it was a whole thing.
This is quite a reliable henchman, and a hitman.
Yeah, and then he also comes back to that guy.
Wouldn't you get a hitman just like, but make sure your hitman has like both arms, so it's not like extremely recognizable.
That's so ableist of you. That's really fucked up, Will. It's so ableist.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I'm hiring someone to kill someone, I'm going to make sure they have
No definable feature.
Well, that's what I mean.
That's a better thing to say than like he's not capable of killing somebody. Jesus Christ, Will. Oh my God. It's 2022 and this movie came out in what, like 1987? 1993. But you know, that's a good point. That's a good point. The distinguishing feature, like in a lineup, you'd be like, "Oh, I recall this person not having both."
He literally said one-armed man. He kept saying it.
Yeah, like you don't see
like the guy with brown hair,
right. A hitman wearing like having like a huge handlebar mustache and wearing like a top hat.
It was the fancy man. He killed my wife. Well, no, because it's like there's a video game.
The Planters Peanut Man killed my wife.
Yeah. The Hitman video game. You guys ever see that or play that? Where the guy is like
with the gloves.
The bald. He just no features, and he's got a barcode in the back of his head. Like those games. Those new games are really fun. Anyway,
Tommy Lee Jones.
I don't care.
My favorite scene is when they're running away in the St. Patrick's Day parade, and he kind of just like slips in there, puts on a hat on, and then everybody's like, "What?"
Well, there's a lot of people there.
It's in Chicago, right?
Yeah, because that's when they're dying the River Green.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago.
What a great flick. Harrison Ford.
And then doesn't Tommy Lee Jones kind of like work with him towards the end, like to kind of, or no? Like
I mean, like a little bit, but not really.
Because he also,
I don't care.
We also put, well, that was in whenever like he jumps down to the water, but they,
later
I think,
on,
like, yeah, towards the end, Tommy Lee Jones figures out that like there's some shady business going on with his friend, that guy with the medicine, and kind of because Harrison Ford sent him down the path to like find out the one-armed man guy and everything. So he was kind of piecing it together with him. So he like didn't shoot him or anything like that. Cause he's like, I know you didn't do anything wrong.
Cool.
Jeez, this guy's in everything. One of the cops in this, Joe Pantoliano. He was in The Matrix too.
Matrix also, or The Matrix 2?
The Matrix also.
Okay.
And he always plays some smug asshole because he's in The Sopranos too, and I hate that guy, Ralphie, piece of shit.
I still haven't watched The Sopranos. I know it's
Me too.
It's all-star. I've heard. And the guy, I know one of the guys just died. Paulie, I think.
Yeah, Paulie.
He just passed away.
I love Paulie.
Paulie Chestnuts.
I think that's his last name.
I don't know what it is.
So yeah, there's The Fugitive. Would you like to speak on behalf of Sandy Bullock and Keanu with the runaway bus?
So we had this DVD. We had this DVD in our condo in Florida we used to have with the family, and we watched it a lot because this is also one that's like on TV. We used to be on TV a lot too. Maybe not as much as The Fugitive, but like when you saw the beginning or the middle of this movie, you keep it on because it's just fun. This is cop Keanu Reeves, who's like on the bomb squad or whatever he is, with Jeff Daniels, Dumb and Dumber himself.
Yeah.
And they got some like, snarky quips to each other, and he shoots Jeff Daniels to he's like shoot the hostage and like to distract the guy kidnapping him and the whole thing. And then the guy it's a great villain because he's just like a guy, and for some reason he had to hold the phone across his face where you could just hold it like this.
Well, because he didn't have a thumb. He didn't have a thumb in his right.
Yeah, but
hand.
that doesn't. Oh, is it maybe one of his ear was blown out? Maybe because I think that was what it was. He had one.
Yeah, he probably couldn't hear in one.
All right, that's what it was. So he always was holding the phone across his body. I'm like, can you just do this? If you only can use this hand, just do this. But I think his ear was blown up, I guess, from the beginning.
I think they did it on purpose. That adds to his like, huh? Who's this guy?
This guy's weird.
Yeah, Keanu.
But it was really great. It's really great, and it's also any kind of movie where it's like there's a ticking time, literally a bomb on the bus, and you can't go under. Was it 50 miles an hour or 55?
Yeah, I think it was 50.
Something like that.
Yeah, can't keep it above 50. And Sandy Bullock gets in there and she drives the bus. Now I'm driving the bus. He's great. Cameron's in this. What's his name from Ferris Bueller? I can't remember the actor's name. He's on the bus, And just a really great, like it ramps up literally because there's one part where the bus goes off some sort of, I don't think it's a ramp, I think it's just an overpass, and it's like, it's classic action movie physics where it's like you see it just go towards the end and it goes whoa, and then it makes it, and it's like
is this also in Chicago?
I think this is in LA. I think it seems very LA to me. I'm just guessing based on what it looks like, or they just shot in California and they just kind of didn't say where it is.
They didn't mention the city.
I think I'm pretty sure it's LA or LA adjacent. But the movie keeps going. There's a certain part where they like get the people off the bus and they stop the bomb on the bus, and you think it's like,
it's LA. You're right.
Yeah, it looked like LA. And then it keeps going, and then the guy goes like kidnaps Sandy Bullock, and they're on the subway. And it's like, so it keeps like going for a little bit where they think it's over, and it's like keeps going, and then more explosions, and it just all around really great movie. Keanu and Sandy Bullock killing it, literally.
What a team!
Yeah, great team up. They got cute chemistry. Great.
What a flick!
Fun movie.
Great flick.
All right. What do you think?
Thoughts, Kevin?
Well, I want you guys give yours, and then I'll put my my final say on it because I'm the deciding vote, I guess. If
you gotta get yours, before I gotta get mine. I'm going with The Fugitive, Harry Ford.
All right. I'm sticking with Speed because I think Speed is more of a quintessential action movie. The Fugitive is more of a crime drama thriller than I think Full On. There's not much action. Like there's
plenty of
tussle.
action.
They tussle here and there. The one-armed man gets tussled with.
One-armed man.
But it's not even close to the action in Speed for me. Skip.
I'm gonna go with I didn't kill my wife, but I'm get out the way. The bus can't slow down. We're going with Speed.
You bastard. Like I get every time you do this, every single time.
He was thinking of that for the last 5 minutes while we were talking. He was like,
yeah, were you planning that out?
I'm gonna go with Speed. So let me say the opposite, which is The Fugitive. 1, 2.
Always. It's my thing. Because Speed is more of an action movie. Fugitive is more of a crime mystery drama.
I just said that.
That's fair.
I know. I'm agreeing with you.
I thought because you were too busy thinking about your line, you weren't listening to me when I said it 2 minutes ago.
No, I was listening.
Okay. All right. So Speed moves on. I'm doing pretty good so far.
You're doing great.
I'm doing a 3 for 3 so far. Let's see how it continues. Next up is not my pick because I'm not in this.
You're done.
Great, which is giving my throat a break. Number 7, which is Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Independence Day versus Kev.
What's what?
Not we had this conversation when we were drafting that, like action versus like just straight up like very sci-fi movie that has action in it. But we'll talk. You can talk about that after. And number 2, Kevin, John Wick, also Keanu at his best.
Brian, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I'll go first. This movie is great. Yes, it's very sci-fi because there's aliens and stuff, but like it's still very, very actiony because the aliens aren't just coming on and saying, "Hey, what's up?" There's an all-out war going on. No peace. There will be no peace. Die. That was my impression of the alien.
That's scary.
The alien through that weird
the scientist guy,
head.
The doctor guy, yeah. And who could forget this movie with Will Smith? What the hell is that smell? Dreadlocks on the beach.
What the hell is that smell?
Well, even too with it, like the guy,
barbecue.
The guy lands down and then he goes up and he smacks him and he goes, "Welcome to Earth."
No, he punches him.
Yeah, I know.
He pops up and he goes, "Bah!"
No, I know. I said smacked because it's Will Smith.
I got it. I was like,
yeah,
no,
well,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Will Smith.
What the hell is that smell?
People from 1996. And it's got that little cute kid in it from Fresh Prince and stuff too.
And Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum's. Yeah, it's just a very cool movie that they reverse engineer the old
ship
that they had in the Pentagon, and everybody's
not
like,
the Pentagon,
what?
Area 51. Come on, Brian. Did you even see?
I thought it was at the Pentagon.
No, they're in underground in Area 51. Well, you also have Bill Pullman giving the classic Independence Day speech.
Yeah, Lone Star.
Today is our Independence Day.
And there's the name of the movie. Mm-hmm. And then you got the crazy guy in the movie and in real life, throwing his ship into the other ship.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he's nuts.
He got
in real life.
Abducted by the aliens. Everybody made fun of him.
Right, and then he's like, "I'm back."
Yeah, Quaid, not Dennis Quaid.
Randy Quaid.
Randy
Quaid.
Yeah, he's a cuckoo in real life. And
wait, why? He's brothers with Dennis Quaid?
Maybe.
I don't think so. I doubt it.
Let's find out.
Unless they both have the same last name, possible. I really didn't think about it ever.
Why is he crazy?
Why?
Yes. I mean, just take your time and look it up. He's.
Well, then Dennis Quaid just doesn't align with him.
What? Wait, what?
Are Randy Quaid and Dennis Quaid brothers? Google it, Bri. I thought you were.
No, I am, but I'm saying, why is he crazy?
Oh, he's done so many videos and stuff where he's just crazy alt-right stuff.
There's a video of him zoomed up on just his face, and it's strobe lighting different colors, and he's just saying nonsense.
Yeah,
is he like a QAnon conspiracy theorist?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's a bit of a nut.
Oh yes, Dennis Quaid is his brother.
What?
There you go. Told you.
Mm-hmm.
They look nothing alike.
Aren't we very, very distantly related to Dennis Quaid? What's that guy's name? It's like Nana's cousin.
Oh no. That's Russell. What's his name?
Russell Crowe?
Kurt Russell.
We're related to Kurt Russell?
No, by marriage. Our grandmother's cousin's daughter or granddaughter is married to Wyatt Russell.
Oh. His son. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's not.
So what does that make us?
Absolutely nothing.
Spaceballs. Bill Pullman. Back to Independence Day. Go.
Exactly. Full circle. Here we go.
4 degrees of Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah. Independence Day is just very, very, very actiony. Yes, it's very sci-fi, but I think it's very actiony, and I like it.
And he likes it. It's if he likes it, then
that's it. It wins.
All right, Skip. John Wick.
So John Wick, I think, is one of the greatest action movies so far. I don't know. It's just as its action pieces itself. You can tell, we said before with Taken, and how it's so choppy because he's Liam Neeson's pretty old. So that he's not actually doing a lot of the stunts. In John Wick, it's just one cut. There's no cuts in during the fights. Everything that's happening, Keanu Reeves is actually doing, and it's
his
done very, very well.
Video of his trainings and stuff.
Yeah, it's nuts.
It's wild. He's amazing.
Yeah, and so it's just done, and he's just such a badass throughout the whole thing. I think it's one of the for the reasons why I picked Taken in the other bracket there was because it is just a pure action movie of the guy's killed his dog, and now he's just gonna go off.
Flick.
Yeah. So I would say it's one of the best action movies that I've seen ever, I would say.
No argument there for me. I think that, and also the directors of the movie are used to be stunt coordinators, so they're in the world of stunts and action scenes, having from their hands in the director's chair, their hands in the director's chair, they're seated in the director's chair. They know
they're just
things should look like.
Yeah, they're just touching the director's chair.
They touch it. But yeah, they know what they're doing, because all those scenes are insane. And Keanu
is 57,
which. He's killing, obviously you don't.
He's a damn
age.
vampire.
Him and Paul Rudd's drink blood.
For real.
I'm okay with it.
They do them.
Well, do you guys want to vote?
Yeah. Oh, John Wick.
Brian.
I'm sticking with What's That Smell?
All right, it's not even a contest for me. John Wick wins because it's just like maybe if Independence Day went against something else, but not even on anything on this list, I probably would pick it over because Independence Day for me is just not an action. It's like more, I would say it's more of a disaster movie than an action movie because world ending, giant space lasers blowing up the Empire State Building, like that's more disaster than action to me. Like, you know, things
Is that what Marjorie Taylor Greene was talking about?
Yeah,
the Jewish space lasers.
She was talking about Independence Day.
Yeah, she just watched Independence Day by accident. She's confused.
Someone told her it was a documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine that John Wick won. I mean, John Wick is a character in Fortnite, so he's got to be doing something, right?
That's it. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you are in Fortnite, then apparently you've made it. I had a couple of years ago, I had longer hair and my beard and stuff like John Wick does. And I was volunteering in a 7th grade classroom at the time. And they're like, you look like John Wick, from Fortnite is what they told me.
Well, I hope they're not actually watching it in 7th grade, watching John Wick.
Yeah, it's violent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love
they just said from Fortnite.
And I love in John Wick where it's like when he finally gets to the guy that killed the dog, it's not like a big scene where he has to like make it grandiose. He just shoots the guy and it's over. Like and like he's dead. Like it's not a
I'm not gonna draw it out type thing.
Where
monologue.
Right. It's like, you killed my dog, my wife died, and now I'm gonna take my revenge on you and have peace. None of that crap. It's just like, man, I didn't mean to. It's like,
wait, why did he what was the motivation for killing
they wanted to steal his car.
Mm-hmm. And the dog was barking or something.
So they killed something. Yeah. It wasn't like
a puppy. It wasn't
like a puppy. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
Did they show it?
No, I don't think
I can't really show it, or they just kind of like insinuated a neck snapping, maybe. I don't, or a shooting. I can't remember how they killed the dog.
Oh, sad.
But other than,
bro, have you never seen John Wick?
No, only bits and pieces.
What?
Oh, you gotta, bro, it's so good.
Watch it. You gotta watch.
Well, the reason I asked because I was like, oh, maybe I can watch it with Bree, but she's not gonna want to watch that.
No.
Well, you won't. That's just like the motivation of the movie. The rest of the movie, no, there's a lot of the people dying, but it's not any other dogs.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. But if
people dying is fine. Dog dying.
She's not gonna want to watch that. We started watching I Am Legend, and then like there was a dog in it. And I was like,
he died.
I don't think. And so we paused it, Googled it. I was like, does the dog die in I Am Legend?
Yeah, he has to choke it out because it got infected.
Yeah, so Bruce was like, nope, well, we're not watching this. I was like, all right.
It's a very sad scene.
Next. You should watch Old Yeller with her.
Yeah, sure. Tommy's in well.
Can we let Old Yeller? That's Lassie.
Oh, it is? Lassie
is the one who gets help. All right, let's
go movie marathon. We'll watch Lassie, Old Yeller, Marley and Me. I Am Legend.
Just get desensitized.
Air Bud. Well, he doesn't.
Air Bud doesn't die.
He doesn't die.
Well, he gets tackled in one part and he gets hurt. So.
And then Mr. Noodle slaps him with a newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking Mr. Noodle. I hate that guy.
Mr. Noodle.
I hate that son of a bitch. I hate that guy.
What a reference, Mr. Noodle from the Elmo's World. Mr. Noodle.
I gotta see if that guy's still alive. What is he doing?
He was in Jurassic Park 2 or 3, I think, last time I saw him, but that was a while ago.
Mr. Noodle.
What's the guy's name? What's Mr. Noodle's name? What's
I'm trying to
this
figure
icon? This
Robert Noodle, obviously.
His name is Bob Noodle.
No, that's not.
Mr. Noodle, does he come up?
Your IMDb Elmo's World.
Actor Bill Irwin. That's not Mr. Noodle.
There's
somebody else.
There's been other Mr. Noodles, I think, since then. So
Okay, Michael
Noodle
Jeter. No, not Michael Neuter.
Neuter.
What? He died in 2003. He was only 50.
Oh, Mr. Wait, he was only 50?
Noodle.
Hey, looked like he was 70. He looked like he was in his 60s.
He was like 50 something, but he actually died. He
died when he was 50. That's crazy.
Oh, Mr. Noodle.
That's what he gets for hitting the dog.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Mr. Noodle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that sad note, we're gonna take a break, and then we'll get back to the top of the bracket. R.I.P. Mr. Noodle.
R.I.P. Mr. Noodle.
Be right back.
Brothers Thrice.
And we are back. Mr. Noodle.
Mr. Noodle was also in Polar Express. How did I what?
He was? I thought it was all Tom Hanks.
No, apparently he was in the Polar Express. It says he's known for
He's that nerdy kid.
Sesame Street. He's in Z-Lig, Tango and Cash, The Fisher Kids, Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Ooh.
Okay. Waterworld, Airbud, Mouse Hunt, Patch Adams.
He did a lot of
Green
those
Mile,
movies.
Jurassic Park 3, Welcome to Collinwood, Open Range, and The Polar Express. Who was he in The Polar Express?
Who knows?
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
We know. We did it. All right, let's get back to the top. Mr. Noodle talk is over. Back to the bracket.
I love you, Mr. Noodle.
All right, so it's now back to the top of the bracket. So our number one pick, which is Kev, you or Brian?
Brian.
Oh, Brian. Okay.
It seems like it would be a me pick, but it is actually.
It does sound like a you pick. I really thought it was you. Number one, Gladiator, which is going to go up now up against the number 9. So first versus last pick, really just in the way we drafted it. It's not really, Baby Driver. So Gladiator versus Baby Driver, me versus you, Brian. Go ahead. Gladiator, tell me about it.
Okay.
Wait, before we start, Brian, what was the name of Elmo's fish?
Dorothy, idiot.
You didn't even look it up.
I'm sorry.
Elmo was my shit. I watched Sesame Street every morning before I went to school.
I'm sorry. Continue.
That's how we know it. That's because you always watched it. It was just on.
Yeah, and just for the record, the guy who Michael Jeter, Mr. Noodle, he played the engineers that were on the Polar Express. The guy with the beard who was like, woo, woo, woo.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen Polar Express. I still won't watch it. So
Brian's offended.
Brian, he's frozen in time. All right, tell me about the Gladiator, Brian.
Are you not entertained?
Oh,
that's a great movie, especially the part where Russell Crowe is he starts singing to Wolverine. That's a great movie. We're talking about this Gladiator, right?
Oh, Les Mis, you're saying? I was like, huh?
Yeah, I was making a Les Mis joke.
Jean Valjean. 2, 3, 0, 1.
Yeah, great. So fantastic setting, just because like Roman gladiators. That shit's cool. The character, cool. I forgot his name. I haven't seen this movie in a long time.
Maximus is his name.
And then he serves Marcus Aurelius.
Marcus Aurelius, the true emperor of Rome.
Joaquin Phoenix in this movie is crazy.
Commodus.
He did a good job.
He wants to
Commodus.
Because Commodus was like a very, very, very crazy person.
And he wants to do his sister.
Yeah, he wants to do it with his sister.
Ugh. Yeah.
Which back then they
Marcus
probably did
Aurelius
constantly.
Was played by Dumbledore.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he gets killed early on, so I kind of forget about him.
Yeah. by Commodus.
But that's the. Yeah.
I watched this movie 5 times in a matter of 4 days because I showed it in my 9th grade class. So I watched it 3 times periodically. So I have 3 9th grade classes. So I watched the first 40 minutes 3 times. I watched the second 40 minutes 3 times. So I know this movie pretty good.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I haven't seen it in a while, but it is good.
The fight scenes in the Coliseum are fantastic.
The big guy with the big mask on, he's cool.
He's just like a cool dude, and then like
up front.
Is that historically accurate? Did they actually do that with the guy with the thumbs and whatnot?
Mm-hmm. And they also did a lot of like in the movie they do when they first get to Rome and they send out the guy who owns all the gladiators, his gladiators. They're doing like a recreation of Scipio versus Hannibal in Rome versus Carthage. They do like a retelling of it. They used to do that a lot and have they actually used to flood the bottom of the Coliseum and have naval battles too,
which is crazy.
Which is crazy. Yeah. They used to have like I think it was like used to hold like 50,000 people. It had a retractable dome on the top. It also had a ancient form of air conditioning. And how like they set up like the holes in the Coliseum and how they like vented air through it. It was pretty wild, the amount of technology that they had. They also did use like creatures from other areas that people would, like a tiger or whatever, they would like capture it from other parts of the empire and make people fight them.
Yeah, the scene with the tiger is crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Didn't they say, like, I mean, isn't this true for like all empires or whatever, that like if you keep the people fed and entertained, you can do whatever you want?
Basically, it's like if you keep the people fed at that point in history, that's most things, like, because people are, if they're
let's
content,
go along.
yeah, if they're in content with their everyday life, then they're not going to rebel. If they're hungry or unsatisfied with their everyday lives, they're more likely to rebel. Like today,
America.
if we're looking at time periods now, if people have a job and they can afford, the basics of living and everything like that, people are less likely to protest or do everything. Like for the most part, if you look at throughout history, the best presidents throughout history, the presidents that have the best approval ratings are ones that are around during the best economic times.
Yeah.
It's not,
even when most half the time it's not even their fault. It's just circumstances around them.
Circumstantial. It's usually the president that comes before that inflicts whatever, and then the other president has to fix it, and then the person that comes after it is like a beneficiary of what happens from the but it's all tied to how people feel in their wallets.
Yeah. So Gladiator.
So back to Gladiator.
Yeah, so the Gladiator. I like the fight scenes are amazing, and the iconic "Are you not entertained?" Come on.
Yeah, some of his like lines in that movie are very, especially with like where he like rips his mask off. He's like, "Oh, show yourself, Spaniard," or whatever. He's like, "My name is Marcus," or whatever. I don't know what his name is. Maximus.
Maximus
Decimus Aurelius or something like that.
I serve the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius. And then Joaquin Phoenix is like, "Oh shit!"
Right, and then he wanted to kill him at that moment, but he couldn't because the crowd was cheering for him, so they couldn't just kill him right there.
Oh yeah, because he was like a he wanted
like a celebrity almost, basically.
He wanted the approval of the people, and so he couldn't.
Didn't Joaquin Phoenix like fight him too?
Yeah. So at the end, like the whole point,
him in the side to like weaken him, but he still kicks his ass.
Yeah, and then he dies right there, and like
joins his family.
Yeah, his family Commodus kills his wife and son.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that was his whole thing. He wanted to just finish his duty as a general to go and work on his farm with his family. That's all he wanted. But Commodus took that away from him.
Bastard. And then he does the classic walk through the field.
Touch the reeds. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good.
So movie. He did go back to his family.
Who directed that?
Ridley Scott.
Is it?
I have it up already.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
Yep.
Ridley Scott did some good movies and some okay movies.
It's a solid Gladiator, solid film.
All right.
And you know who else is in the Gladiator?
I don't know.
Liam Neeson?
No.
I don't know.
Michael Jeter. Do you know who that is?
Mr. Noodle?
Mr. Noodle.
Is in Gladiator?
No, I'm fucking with
you. I would say no way.
Can you imagine him running around the Coliseum like
he'd probably just be a guy that got killed like in the first scene. That's how his acting jobs he can get.
I mean, the first scene of the movie is actually really cool. It's them fighting in Gaul.
It was in Georgia. It was in Georgia.
No, it's not in Gaul. It's in Germania.
They were fighting in
Germanic,
which is Germany, basically.
Yeah, it was like that dark forest, very German forest.
And like
forest cake.
That's where all the good cake is, right?
Yeah, the dark chocolate cake.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're fighting for. That's the whole thing.
All right, so Gladiator up against Baby Driver. We talked about it already. Very different movies.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to have them head to head because they're really not even close to the same movie. But like I said, soundtrack's great, but it's a toss up here. They're so different, hard to compare.
I'm gonna go with Gladiator because the fight scenes are crazy.
I think I'll also switch to Gladiator just because I think it's like just the grandioseness of that movie. Like you really feel it, like and it's just a great all around movie. I don't know if it's full on. There's action, but I wouldn't call it an action movie. It's more like a
historical
drama action with action. But still, I think it's definitely a better movie than Baby Driver. I can admit that.
So. And Yeah, obviously this is a no-brainer for me, obviously. So
after Kev gave 14 facts on the Roman Coliseum, he's like, actually, I like Baby Driver. I haven't seen it, but all right. So Gladiator moves on. We'll go down now to Oh, this is the Keanu off.
Oh boy.
Speed versus John Wick. Whoa, crazy, Bri. So Speed versus John Wick. This is a crazy Keanu battle. We've talked about both of them. Speed, bomb on a bus, ticking,
bomb on a bus,
ticking time clock. Bad guy, Keanu being cool, versus John Wick, also Keanu being cool and
badass,
knowing how to fight everybody.
Wait, really? What is this? Is this Speed, the Matrix versus Speed?
No, Speed versus
John Wick.
Oh, we're going from the bottom.
Yeah, yes. I went to because the Gladiator we just did, so I skipped down to the bottom.
Right,
yeah.
right.
So Speed versus John Wick.
This is a tough one, but
it's like they're very different kind of action movies. Like
John one's Wick more high speed, one's more fighting.
For that reason, I'm going with John Wick because it's more badass and fighting. I feel like most of Speed is just Sandra Bullock driving a bus.
Yeah.
Well, but it's also a very different kind of action movie. Like
it's more like suspensey. It's like suspensey, like the bus has got to keep going. But then
it's very,
John Wick's
it's
just
also
badass.
it's very like 90s too, where it's just big fun explosions, fun stunts. Like the bus jumps off of an overpass, and it would never be able to. It goes like the nose goes up. I don't know what would make the nose of the bus go up. When you see that scene, it's really funny now. But like in the when you're in that kind of like, this is a crazy action movie, you let it pass. It doesn't matter. But I think John Wick is more of a, like nowadays, like we consider action movies like that's a fun, not fun, but like just badass. He just cycles through so many different guns. He's getting the guy, then taking his gun, and he has like that stance that like that.
Yeah, and then like quickly change to another one. I love too the scene, like when he goes, he's like, first he was out of the whole assassin hitman game, and then like this pulls him back in, and he just like takes a pickaxe to the floor and it opens up like this chest of gold and guns. It's really cool. But then also the scene where like the villain is talking about like
the Babadook or whatever.
Baba Yaga. When he was called the Baba Yaga because he killed so many people. He's like, he killed 5 people with a pencil. Like, just how
isn't that from Ant-Man too? Baba Yaga.
Yeah. Baba Yaga is a Russian like boogeyman. The boogeyman in Russian. But how like it's just like he is describing him, and he's just like, you stole whose car? And he's like, oh, this guy. And it's like, do you have any idea what you just did? So like
they killed us all.
You just know, like,
it's great.
They even know that they messed up, and
because the kids, the dumbass kid, with like just wanted the car, and I love when he's like talking to him in the car, like, about in the car. And he's like, "Oh, how much is it worth?" Blah blah blah. And then he says something in Russian, and then John Wick's like says something back to him in Russian, like I understood you, bitch, or something. It was like, ooh,
oh,
so good.
Baba Yaga.
All right, so John Wick moves on because it's just so so good. Then next up is, so then back to the top. Now it's gonna be Gladiator versus The Matrix. Also very different movies.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with The Matrix because just the action scenes alone are some of the best out there. Gladiator, I would say, has fun battles and action in battles, but I don't think I don't know. They rings more historically interesting than action for action movies.
Well, most part too, both of these movies their secondary genre is action. Their first genre is sci-fi or history, and their secondary is action. But I think I think action pieces more so goes to The Matrix than for Gladiator. Gladiator just has a couple.
Yeah, there's a lot of great battles and fights in it, but I think like
Matrix
just
definitely,
they do so much with the action in that.
And also to see a Keanu off for the final would be fun.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Right?
Right, you vote okay, or are you sticking with your Gladiator because it's your pick?
Nah, I think Matrix is more of an action.
Yeah. I think I do
That-
my
like, that
I
one's
do my
hard
best
to-
to be I do my best to be completely honest with these. I'll vote. I
Yeah.
voted for Gladiator against Baby Driver. Like I want to win, of course, but I also can't be silly. I have to,
Yeah.
Well, the Emmy Award just got announced. Emmy Award nominees. I have to check that out later. I just got a notification. So now, so it is a Keanu off for the final, which is, I'm not upset about it. So it's The Matrix, Neo versus John Wick. Well, it depends in who would win in a fight, which we stay tuned. We'll have another episode about that.
Yeah.
If they're in the Matrix, Neo would win. If they're in the real world, John Wick would win.
Right. So it's just depending on where the fight takes place.
Because technically, if you die in the Matrix, you die in real life. So there are consequences. It's not just a computer program. You're jacked into it.
Right.
Well, they're also very different action movies.
Right.
Matrix is more stylized and fantastical, where John Wick is very grounded and very
realistic.
Real. Well, he's doing things that I don't know if a normal person can even do, like realistically, but it's definitely much more grounded than anything else.
Yeah. And just the way it's shot is like how hyper realistic it is with the one cut and just like wide angle. They don't really
show it all
much. Yeah. Whereas the Matrix, you're doing slow motion. It's a lot of edits.
It's just a very different kind of movie. That's the trouble. It's hard to.
So as my argument from before stands true, I'm gonna go with John Wick because it's an action movie through and through, whereas The Matrix is a sci-fi movie, secondarily an action movie.
Okay, Beagle.
Well, that's hard because I haven't seen all of John Wick.
You got to do that today. I think that's your homework for today.
So I think because I don't want to be, I don't want to be biased and anything, but I have to vote with what I know, obviously. So I think I'm going to go with The Matrix on this one because it's kind of like going in blind almost. So I think I'm going to go with The Matrix.
All right. And even though I think both movies have next level action and Keanu is present in both, obviously, not just because it's my pick, but I'm going to give it to The Matrix just because I think, even Kev said it was the merit of not being a fully just action movie, but I think if you took the action away, would you still have a good movie is what I'm trying. Movie as a whole, the action in both are amazing, but I think then if you have what story is more interesting to me, I would say Matrix has more of an interesting story as a movie.
Yeah, because you're taking away the action part and you're just leaving the sci-fi part.
Well, no, but I'm saying as a movie, what's more interesting to me? A guy killing people because they killed his dog versus a heady
right, because you're taking away the action part and just leaving the sci-fi part.
No, but I'm considering both. I'm saying one's action and one's action with extra. And I like the action and the extra.
One's an action movie, one's a sci-fi movie with action. So then if you take away the action movie part from the action movie, it's just going to be a kind of linear story.
I could say, okay, not taking away the action, leaving the action in. I like the story. The story of The Matrix is more interesting to me than the story of John Wick.
Sure.
But not taking the action. I'm just saying the action in both are both iconic. They're very different kinds of action, but I think the kind of action that did in The Matrix spurred on. Obviously, I think there's a lot of movies now that are doing more John Wick stuff because they saw how awesome that one showing the action, showing the stunt people doing their stuff. They think they're doing more of that now, kind of like how the Matrix was a pacemaker too. I just think I'm just a huge Matrix fan, and so I got to give it to that one.
All right, fine.
Oh, what happened? Brian sharing a screen. Oh, Mr. Noodle.
Mr. Noodle.
Yeah, I had to share.
All right, turn it off. It's going to mess up my edit later on.
Well, you got to keep this in.
I will.
Obviously.
Obviously.
All right,
wait, which one's Mr. Noodle? The guy on the right or the guy on the left?
The guy on the
Here's
left.
the thing. This is Michael Jenner, the guy who we all know as Mr. Noodle. But actually, I was reading up on the Wikipedia. This is Mr. Noodle. This is Mr. Noodle's brother, Mr. Noodle.
Oh, so
There's
the guy on the
multiple Mr.
right
Noodles.
was the original Mr. Noodle?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
And then Michael Jetta is Mr. Noodle also because he's just his brother. That's Mr. Noodle. And
So
apparently they had Kristen Chenoweth on it, and she's Miss Noodle. They're all related.
What is happening?
I don't know.
All right.
All right.
Well, so
Is that the guy from Hamilton who played Jefferson as Mr. Noodle?
David Diggs.
No, I think this is something
He-
different.
I think he's
It's
just
like a
on
similar
Sesame
bow
Street.
tie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wait, how
I
do
was
I
like,
stop sharing the
his-
screen again?
Hit stop sharing screen.
Oh,
No, we just have to look at Mr. Noodle.
you mean like that?
Hot.
This.
Ah!
He's crazy.
All right. So
All right.
Matrix wins. Mr. Noodle is the best. R.I.P. Jetter,
No,
whatever his name was.
Mr. Noodle wins.
Mr. Noodle is the winner. of
And
the
rest in
action.
peace, Mike Jetter. Love you, man.
All right. So thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, next episode with a non-bracket episode. So, and put your thinking caps on because it's going to be a thinker. So,
Oh,
thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.
For the Thrice.
bye,
For the
Noodles.
stories. Bye, Mr. Noodles.